Alright, today I want to take time to test out two knives. This one is the Camillus Carnivore XZ. It's more of a machete style chopping, has a saw. And this is the Camillus Titanium. This almost has an old style Nesmic style blade. The handle is the most awkward thing I've ever seen. But looking through the lanyard hole, it looks like this is actually a full tang knife, so maybe it's better than I expected. And we're doing this because we're looking at cheap options that anybody can afford, that anybody can grab real quick. Right now, some people are just now getting interested in preparedness, and they're worried about being able to save up the money for food and all the other things that they're thinking about getting or needing to get. So if we can throw out some cheap knife options out there, that's one step ahead. So you hold on, we'll get set up. There's plenty of deadfall around here. We can whittle, we can chop, we can saw, and if it breaks, it breaks. Alright, I have not sharpened this. I have used this before to chop some weeds with, and it did okay for that. It has a hollow grind with this sort of a pry bar Tonto front end on it. We'll see if we can get a good swing going here. Spider webs everywhere. Definitely get some hot spots back here and up here on the jibbing, up here on the handle. Definitely some hot spots. Whew. Alright, well, it went through that. It still feels a little bit alright. After a few minutes of doing that, you're really going to feel it in your hand. So as far as working, it works. But that grip, especially with that pinky knob back here, yeah, it helps keep it from slipping, but man, it puts some pressure on that little pinky right there. So let's keep that in mind. All right, let's try to saw. All right, it's aggressive, that's for sure. Maybe it'd be better going this way. I'd say on this you might be better off just putting this in between a fork in a tree and snapping. By the time you do anything with that, It's almost too aggressive because it's grabbing so hard you're putting a lot of effort into doing it. There's no comfortable way to use it. I don't know, maybe somebody else knows something I don't, but so far I'm not a big fan of that. So let's move on to the Camillus titanium. Blade design wise, it does shaving, it does a good job. Oh, I keep doing it out of the camera. I think that blade design lends itself pretty good for any kind of notching or shaving, or even if you was wanting to carve a spear point. I really like the blade design. But just like I thought, when you're really trying to work this thing, that big bulbous area there and this right here, like I said, I'm not sure what they were trying to do with that, but that is very uncomfortable. This is my EDC ferrule rod. So let's see what it does with that. Ooh. Well, that spine, good for ferrule rod. No complaints about that. Okay, so depending on what you're looking for, these two Camillus knives, so the titanium and the Carnivore XZ, they cut stuff. The XZ will chop stuff. Do they do it better than every other thing out there? Absolutely not. Before I would get this, I would probably just go with a good machete. If you're just looking for a knife that you can throw in a pack that will cut, shave, do things like that, then this little Camillus titanium, it works. It's uncomfortable. The grip, that hard plastic grip, and the ergonomic, it doesn't exist on that shape. But the blade, I really like the blade. I like the hollow grind. It kept an edge through everything that I sliced and diced with it. So from the handle forward, I give it a B plus probably. From the, like I said, from here back, I give it a D. That's just an awful design. The Carnivore. I think they designed this so that it would look like it was a real utility, versatile, use it for anything type blade, but honestly, I don't think I would pry anything with it. That saw is so aggressive, and this is so thick that it's hard to get through anything because it just starts digging in. You're putting so much effort on it that you're just wasting calories. So I would honestly just buy a machete before I would buy this. So if I could find a good Gerber or buck or anything like that, fairly decent price, try to go with the USA made, I would skip on this just because it is so unfriendly in the hand to use. That's just my honest opinion. It doesn't mean anything, but if you don't get out here and mess with this stuff, you'll never know. So y'all come back and we'll talk some more again.